And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Harbor Station for tonight's St. John Sea Dogs game against the Moncton Wildcats. My name is Tim Roszell. This is the Tim Roszell Show. We are located live behind Section F on the Harbor Station Concourse. Well, the St. John Sea Dogs and the Moncton Wildcats have teamed up with Hatchmont McDonald, an engineering firm, as well as Canadian Blood Services for a community rivalry blood drive during the month of January. And joining me to talk about that at this time is Mark O'Reilly from Canadian Blood Services here in St. John. Mark, thank you so much for coming by and being our guest here tonight. First of all, this blood drive has been happening for a little over a week now. How has response been so far?
Response has been excellent. Up until yesterday, Moncton were at 189, I believe, and St. John was at 139 or thereabouts.
And we know the goal for both of these organizations is to have 600 donations of blood during the month of January from now up until January 30th. Have Blood Services ever gotten involved in this type of a promotion with local sports teams?
Yes, actually, both local and at the corporate level. It's just a pleasure to be involved with such an event, and it's nice to get the public awareness of what we're actually out to do.
So for people who have never donated blood before, it's a little bit of a process, but it's not that much, really, is it?
Not a difficult process at all. Your basic requirement is 17 years of age or older, and you must be 110 pounds or over. Very simple. When you arrive, you will be met by a donor services representative. Take some information as long as you have your photo ID with you. And everybody there are all trained professionals, and they'll guide you along the way.
You mentioned that you have been involved with teams locally and even at the corporate level before.
Yep.
Why do promotions like this work? Why do they help?
A promotion like this gets the community involved. The community then gets friends, relatives, and that way it brings the awareness of what exactly we're out there for.
With Mark O'Reilly of Canadian Blood Services. This is the Tim Roszell Show. We are located live behind Section F on the Harbor Station Concourse. And Mark, the Sea Dogs and the Wildcats have been arch rivals for 10 years now. Obviously, the Sea Dogs are in their 10th year of existence. So
yes,
you know that it's a good cause when these two teams put their differences aside, so to speak, and come together for something like this.
Exactly. If you can get rivals to come together for a common goal, we've pretty much achieved, more than what we've set out to do.
And we know that giving blood is so important, but for people out there that may not understand why or may not have heard really why, there are so many reasons. Can you enlighten us on some of the reasons why it's so important to give?
Yes. For every unit of blood that is collected, it helps to save a life. So that life could be a family member, like your father, mother, brother, sister, could be a cousin, an uncle, could be your neighbor, could be a friend, or somebody that you'll never know, never meet, but has helped save their life.
And the stats show that few people give, but many people end up needing at some point in their lives.
A figure of 52% have stated that they or a family member has received blood and therefore possibly saving that person's life.
Now, as part of this promotion with the St. John Sea Dogs and the Moncton Wildcats, fans who intend to donate or who are able to donate and they visit Canadian Blood Services at 405 University Avenue in St. John will be entered into a draw to receive tickets to the Sea Dogs game on February 6th against the Sherbrooke Phoenix right here at Harbor Station. And there will be some draws for that game made right here in Harbor Station tonight. So if you go over to the Blood Services table, you'll see it on the concourse Concourse here at Harbor Station. You can sign a ballot, put your ballot in the ballot box, and you will have a chance to win tickets to that game on February 6th between the Sea Dogs and the Sherbrooke Phoenix. And there will be draws as well held within the next 3 weeks of this promotion through Canadian Blood Services, right, Mark? Where fans who, again, intend to donate or who are able to donate by visiting Canadian Blood Services, they'll have a chance to win as well.
And Tim, we're always looking for new donors. So if you're a recurring donor, if you can bring at least one other person with you, fantastic. 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, and so on. And it's just so important to get that new donor as well.
Can you give us an example, Mark? Obviously, not naming names because that's something that you just don't do. But can you give us an example that of a donor that continues to come back and has donated 10, 15, 20 times and just continues to make that visit back to Canadian Blood Services?
I can speak from a personal point of view. I have a brother who is, I believe, in the between 700 and 800 range.
Wow.
Yeah.
700 and 800 donations.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Now, I know the time period between when you're able to give donations is what, about 56 days, I think?
56 days for the whole blood, yes.
So he's obviously been making those donations just about every 56th day.
He is in the plasma program, so he is able to do his donations every week.
Oh, even better than that.
Every week. So in that program, what they do is they extract the plasma only and return the rest to his body at that time.
We are with Mark O'Reilly of Canadian Blood Services here in St. John. This is the Tim Roszell Show. We are located live behind Section F on the Harbor Station Concourse, and we're talking about the community rivalry blood drive between the St. John Sea Dogs and the Moncton Wildcats in association with Canadian Blood Services and our good friends at engineering firm Hatchmont McDonald. And Mark, we alluded to those standings already. They're pretty tight here through the first week or so, and we're hoping maybe with the fans here in St. John tonight that we can get a little bit of a push here locally to help put the Sea Dogs on top.
Well, I'm hoping now that the awareness is out there. Please come out and donate. All I've got to say for you, Danny Cool in Moncton, is sorry, go Sea Dogs. Denny is our territory manager in Moncton, and he asked me to do him a personal favor, but we got to get you.
And for more details on how you can donate and whether you feel like you're eligible to donate or not, just log on to blood.ca. You can also call 1-888-2-DONATE for more details and to book an appointment. And again, Canadian Blood Services at 405 University Avenue in St. John. Mark, thank you so much for coming by here tonight and being a guest on the Tim Roszell Show, and enjoy tonight's game.
It's a great pleasure, Tim, for Canadian Blood Services to be involved, and it's a true pleasure to be here. Thank you.
That is Mark O'Reilly of Canadian Blood Services. This is the Tim Roszell Show, which is brought to you by Lounsbury Furniture.